Hey guys, welcome back. Origami here, bringing you another one of our live deck profile videos. Today we're playing Dragonite GX. I'm actually really excited about this one. I'm actually really excited for Dragonite GX in general. I think this deck is super cool and one of the few, if not one of the only Stage 2 decks that can work post-rotation, I believe. So before we get into the video, don't forget to support the content by leaving that delicious like, subscribe, share, all that good jazz. As there's a little bit of background noise, I do apologize. People are still home, but I got to record these as quickly as I can so I can take them apart so I can record the next matchups. So yeah, answer the common question today being, what's your favorite dragon type Pokemon? Just let me know. I really like Dratini. Like, look at that little snake man. That's a little happy snake man. Keep in mind that these are not the right Dratinis, but whatever. We'll discuss them more as we go on. And let me know in the comments down below what dex profiles you want to see next, what matchups you want to see next, all that good jazz. I am cooking tortillas right now, so this might be a little bit of a shorter video because I'm kind of hungry. And let's get right into it. So we're going to start with 4 Dratinis. Now there is a new Dratini coming out in, ooh, that is pretty glary. There's a new Dratini coming out in the new set. What it does is that flip a coin of heads, your opponent will damage you. It has agility, so it's the same agility as a lot of other attacks. Flip a coin of heads, your opponent can't damage you by attacks next turn. So you want to play that one. It also has 60 HP, I believe. There's a bunch of other Dratinis. This one paralyzes your opponent. I feel like being immune to attacks is just better than being paralysis. That way, if they play switch, they still can't attack you. This one does 60 damage. There's some 70 HP ones as well with different attacks. Regardless, they all have a 2 retreat cost, and they all have varying different attacks. I like the newest one the most because I think agility is very strong. I am playing 2 Dragonair, and I'm playing this Dragonair in particular. This one I believe is from Team Up. I like its attack Twister, flip 2 coins for each head, discard an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. If both of them are tails, attack does nothing, which is fine, but you want to discard the energies if you can. And now, for the fun part, let's talk about all the different Dragonites. First things first, we have this one right here, the 250 HP brand new Dragonite GX we are getting. Has 250 HP and some pretty interesting attacks. Pretty vanilla for the most part, but the vanilla is fine because that's what makes these attacks so good. 130 HP or 130 damage for hold on. 250 HP, 2 retreat costs, no resistance, weak to fairy, yada yada yada. GX Pokemon, so searchable with Cherish Ball. First attack does 130 HP, great number to be hitting if you want to be hitting non-GX Pokemon. 270 HP, which is an amazing number to be hitting if you're looking to attack tag team Pokemon. It does, you have to discard 3 energies, but it's for 5 colorless energies, which means you attach 2 water, 1 water, 1 lightning, and then a triple energy. Then you just discard triple energy for the attack cost, so it's actually a fairly easy attack to attain. And to hit 270, you'll knock out everything except for like 300 HP Pokemon like Magikarp Wailord, or like 280 HP Pokemon like Mega Tyranitar Sableye, or Mega Sableye Tyranitar, I should say. Excuse me, guys. And this GX attack is discard as many cards from you like as your hand and draw until you have 10 in your hand. So it's a good setup GX attack if you're looking to draw more cards, get more combo pieces going. So overall, pretty good Dragonite. Our main attacker of the decks, especially versus tag team. We have 2 other Dragonites. This is going to be another one of the new Dragonites. Its attack does 170. Same thing, 2 retreat cost, weak to fairy, 160 HP, yada yada. Its attack does 170. Oh, I hope that doesn't become an issue, whatever. I just got a text, so hopefully that's not a big deal. But you have to discard 3 energies to use it. But its ability is the reason why we're playing it. Once per turn, you may attach a water and a lightning energy from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. So very, very strong ability there, which is the whole reason why we play this Dragonite deck. You use the ability to attach water and lightning onto a Dragonite, and then you attach a triple energy, and all of a sudden you got a Pokemon fully charged up. If you do it twice in a row, all you gotta do is 1 extra manual attachment, and you have 5 energies attached. So the whole idea of the deck is that you set up your board with all these dragons, which we have Treasure to search up, Cherish Ball, yada yada yada, and and then we start hitting for OCO numbers versus tag teams, where the trade is good because we're a GX Pokemon, not a tag team Pokemon, so we're trading 3 for true. Or we have a 250 HP and we just knock out multiple non-GX Pokemon using our 130 damage. And we have our non-GX attackers here if we're looking to hit higher numbers. And then last but not least, this Dragonite, this is the Fast Call Dragonite from, I believe, Dragon Majesty, or this is also Team Up. So Fast Call lets you search for a supporter from your deck every turn and put it into your hand. So once again, this is great. If you set this up, you can get any supporter you like. You can also get it out with cards like Lance. We also play a 1-of Ditto Prism to act as a 5th Dratini, which is why we're playing 2 Dragonair so that we can evolve this Ditto Prism into Dragonair when we need to. It also helps you lead, quote unquote, with a Dratini more often, although you don't really care so much about that. You just want to have more basics that you can evolve into Dragonite throughout the game. So other cards we are playing, besides just these bad boys. Oh, there are my tortillas. I I gotta get ready for those later in a second. We got that. We have 2 Dedenes because, like, you know, they're good and they help you set up your stage 2 decks a lot easier by getting you rare candies, getting you supporters you need for turn. We have some supporters that don't let you draw cards, like Lance and Brock, and we have to be drawing cards all the time. So that's why we play the 2 Dedenes. Also, we're playing Lightning Energies. I have used Tingly Return in some games to paralyze your opponent to stall for an extra turn. So Tingly Return is a GX option. Also puts the Dedenne back in your hand and the Lightning Energies back in your hand, so you can reattach those later. Other cards we're playing. Coco Prism to get those lightning energies back on the board. And then probably the most questionable card in the deck is going to be Latios Prism. I'm always on the fence every time I play this card. Now, we can attack with it fairly easily, and it's a good non-GX attacker because it does 50 damage for each of your evolution dragon Pokemon in play, which in theory we should have 3 or 4 on the board at all times once we have our board set up, which means you're hitting for 200. The problem is 200 is not enough for really anything, tag team wise or GX wise. I guess you can knock out like Bucephalons and stuff like that, but overall it's not like the best number to hit. And then I don't know, the card it's kind of hard to set this card up because once you have these Pokemon set up, you're interested in attacking with these Pokemon, not with this. But it's easy to attack with this thing. It just takes 1 grass, 1 lightning, so ability, shenanigans, things like that. So it can do damage. Right now I haven't used it, but I feel like it's pretty useful versus cards like Bucephalon matchups and things like that. Nice to have a non-GX attacker available to you, which is why I'm still keeping it in the deck. But that's it for the Pokemon line. Quite a bit Pokemon, but overall I haven't had any issues setting up for the most part. Sometimes I just can't find rare candy, but that's like any stage 2 deck. I am playing Volkner, of course, so I can find rare candies that way. Let's go ahead and move on to the trainers, speaking of which, and I get to show off what I feel like is a pretty good set for post-rotation trainers. We are playing 4 treasures, of course, because all of our dragons are searchable with treasure. I'm not playing Elm in this deck because we have access to treasure, and because we have access to Lance, we don't really want to fill up our bench too much with too many Pokemon, which is why I'm not playing Elm. I'm just going straight ball search. 4 Cherish Balls to help you get your Dragonites and Dedenes. Excuse me. I have 4 Pokegear here, just to help you get your supporters. I guess I should move these to the side now. Those are done. Next ones. I just tried to avoid the glare too much. 4 Rare Candy, because obviously Rare Candy. 3 Judge Whistles, and 1 Rescue. One Reset Stamp. I like the Judge Whistles because I am playing Judge in this deck. Judge is just a decent disruption card. I'm only playing 1 Reset Stamp, so I figured I might as well play Judge while I'm playing Judge Whistle. It's -3 cards in the deck. One card that I'm not playing in this deck that you could totally play if you want to is Zeraora. Zeraora GX is definitely not a bad option in this deck list, but I just never find myself using it, and the free retreat has never been an issue for me because I've been able to pay the retreat cost so often. And the most important part is that I don't have bench space for it. Your bench space is going to be filled with 2 or 3, preferably 3 Dragonites, right? 1 non-GX, 1 fast call, and 1 GX one, right? So, and then your active is going to be having your attacker, preferably your GX attacker, or any attacker of choice. And then you're probably going to have the Denes on your bench because you're most likely going to be setting up throughout the game, which is the main reason why I'm so iffy about playing Latios Prism and about playing so many of these cards in this deck, different Pokemon, things like that. Zeraora is definitely not a bad option if you want to squeeze it in, but the reason why I'm not playing it is because my bench is so full. I don't know what brought that up, but something to keep in mind. And because I haven't had any issue retreating, although the GX attack is pretty good if you're looking to set up your Pokemon again from the discard pile, of course, because sometimes you are forced to discard a lot of energy, which is why we're playing Brock in this deck. But let's go ahead and go over the stadiums next. Oh, there goes the AC, of course. Sorry for all the background noise, guys. Or not stadiums, the supporters. For Lily, it's just I think it's the draw supporter of choice in this deck. We're usually searching through our deck, and once we're set up, we don't really need much but to draw energies. And then at the same time, I don't really like Cynthia in this deck. I like Torn Lily the most since we play so much ball search, and Cynthia is just like shuffle drawing, but we want to keep a lot of cards in our hand a lot of the time, and we can just find supporters we need for turn with fast call. So I'm not a big fan of Cynthia. It's a really weird supporter line, but it's definitely been working for me. 2 Volkners. I really want to make this a 3 or 4 count, to be honest, but I haven't found the space yet. I don't want to cut Judge Whistle because Volkner gets in the way of Lily, and obviously, so we have to be careful there. And as far as our other supporters, 1 Lance, 1 Judge, 1 Brock, and 1 Lance. Obviously, Between Dedenne and Lily, we seem to be drawing more than enough throughout the game. 2 Dedennes, which we can get back with Brock, or we can use the GX attack to put back in our hand to use Dedenne again. The reason why we played Dedenne is because we have these 2 supporters here that are kind of slow. This one's also kind of slow. They're not drawing us as many cards, so the Dedennes are super important, which is why I'm not playing Cynthia as well. Just Dedenne just seems to cover so much of the map, and since they're not going to be custom catcher too much, it feels like it's a really safe play. Anything else to mention? Brock, just in case we can't find our triples and we're forced to attack and discard energies throughout the game, Brock gets it back, also gets back Pokemon, which we're definitely going to need at some point because we're only playing 2 Dragonite GX, which should be 3 as well. Once again, there's a lot of cards in this deck that I want to play more copies of, but I just find that being able to recover as well as draw as much as we can using cards like Judge Whistles, just to thin our deck to really help ourselves get that strategy as quickly as possible, because the whole point of the deck is to set up your stage 2s as fast as you can, try to get that turn 1 Lance as fast as you can, and then you can worry about the mid to late game. Whenever things start getting knocked out, you can start using Brock to get those back in the deck. I prefer that way more, not to mention we have our non-GX attackers that can hit for a good chunk of damage, 160 or 170 with one of them, 120 is the other one. We have Latios Prism that can attack for damage. We have other attackers besides just Dragonite GX, which is why I'm okay with playing just 2 for the time being. Once again, this is the first time we're playing this list, or not the first time we're playing this list, but the first draft of this list. This is after playing a handful of games with testing. Obviously, things can change as time goes on, but I really like this this list of supporters for the time being. And as far as the energies go, let me go ahead and put that right there. It's fairly simple. 5 of each one, 5 water, 5 lightning, and 4 triples. One thing in this deck I also want to play that I'm currently not playing is Viridian Forest, not only as a counter stadium, but a way to search your energies more often. That just goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like I said, the Judge Whistles can be removed if you want to remove them, but it does make drawing and searching through your deck a lot harder. Stretch Forest could be good for sure. That was something I was tinkering around with as well. And like I said, these whistles can easily become like Zeraora, Dragonite, Forest, and any combination of those cards, or even like a 1 of Cynthia if you want to play Cynthia. There's a lot of cards, these are a lot of things these cards can become, but I've been really happy with the way the whistles have been working for me, being that -1 card that I've been needing. So that's going to be the deck, guys. I'm trying to think if there's much else to talk about. Like overall, the matchup spread is really good. It's just a matter of like, can you set it up? You Oko Pikarom, you Oko Reshizard, you Oko Greninjas, you Oko Bucephalons. Bucephalons have a hard time OKOing you because it's 250 HP. And it's not like a tag team matchup. They're not trading really well. I mean, they are in the sense that like whoever gets the first knockout is better off, but like they're not trading so well that they can afford to blow off like 1,000,000 energies just to take 4 prizes as opposed to 5, or as opposed to 6. You know what I'm saying? So the matchups across the board seem to be pretty good. Like you Oko things like I think Zapdos is a dead archetype, but like Zapdos you can Oko. You can Oko most non-GX non-evolved Pokemon, and since there's no way to search evolved non-GX Pokemon, it feels like you're not going to see those as often. So you can knock out most non-GX Pokemon using this first attack, and then with 250 HP, they're not going to be able to Oko you in return. And that first attack doesn't proc cards like Big Bomb or whatever that card is called. So like overall, pretty happy with this. You have a bunch of GX options. You have this Dragonite, you have Dedenne, and once again, if you play Zeraora, you have Zeraora's GX attack option as well. The cool thing about Zeraora is that if you play Zeraora, you have to play more Pokemon because you can't afford to lose the Pokemon as much. Because if you play Zeraora, you can cut out cards like Brock, and you don't have to play Brock because you don't have to worry about getting energies back as much, which is the main reason why I played Brock, is getting back energies. It also helps you get back Pokemon, but if you just play more Pokemon, it shouldn't be as much of a worry. At that point, you're just worried about, am I prizing every single Pokemon in the game, you know what I mean? Or if I'm prizing Zeraora, which is why I'm not the biggest fan of Zeraora. It was the first card to cut whenever I was playing this deck. But that's going to be the deck profile, guys. Don't forget to drop a like if you haven't already, subscribe, share, all that good jazz. Do all the shenanigans. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to all y'all, and I'll see you guys next time with another live deck profile. Peace.